Welcome to AXREM Insights, developing healthcare through medtech and innovation. Join Melanie Johnson and Sally Edgington as they talk with our industry leaders and experts.
Hello, I'm Melanie Johnson and I'm here with Sally Edgington. Welcome to the BMUS Annual Scientific Meeting 2024 podcast special. Today we have the pleasure to be speaking to Emma Tucker, Chief Operating Officer at BMUS, Peter Cantin and Shaunna Smith, both BMUS clinical representatives. Welcome Emma, Peter and Shaunna. Thank you for being on the show and allowing us to get to know you a little better. I will start by handing over to you, Shaunna, to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it. So I'm Shaunna and I'm a clinical specialist sonographer working in Hull. I've recently been on BMUS Council and I've been involved in the BMUS Education Committee for a little bit longer than my council stint has been. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not very exciting outside of work things. Everything that I love is all things ultrasound.
No, that's nice though. That's good. And Peter?
Thank you, Mel. Good morning. Thank you again for inviting me. I'm Peter Cantin. So I'm a practicing sonographer. I'm now a consultant sonographer. So I started my ultrasound career back in 1995. So an awful long time ago, and I moved to Plymouth almost immediately on qualification. Worked with some fabulous sonographers and radiologists. I've been a member of BMUS since that time, so since 1995, and I find myself in a very privileged position of being BMUS President next year and for the next 2 years.
Oh, wow, congratulations. And finally, Emma.
Thank you for having us. I am the BMUS Chief Operating Officer. I've been with BMUS now for about 8.5 years and as their Chief Officer for about 3. So this will be my third ultrasound meeting, third big one coming up.
Great, thanks guys, and we're really pleased you're able to join us. And obviously we're going to be talking today a little bit more about the BMUS ASM that's taking place next month in Coventry. I've been to the last couple of events and I've always been really impressed, and it's great to see a lot of AXREM members there, but also just the general networking and kind of learning opportunities has been really valuable to me. So I'm going to hand back over to you guys to tell us a little bit more about the BMUS ASM and what attendees can expect, and are there any kind of headline sessions and attractions that you'd also like to talk about?
This is probably one for Shaunna, as she's chair this year, isn't it?
So yeah, I mean, obviously it's a really, really full, I think, exciting programme. I hope that our delegates think it's an exciting programme as well. We've obviously got our traditional streams running, the Gen Med, Gynae, Vascular, Physics, Obstetrics. But we've also introduced a couple of new streams. So we've got a little wellbeing stream running just for kind of our ultrasound users and how to kind of improve your mental health around working in potentially busy settings, healthcare environments, that kind of thing. And we've also got the really, really exciting debut of the Endometriosis Practical, which I believe has already sold out. I think, Emma, is that right? So yeah, we're incredibly excited about that. That's something that's new to this year. And we've also got a little yoga session to go in with the wellbeing side of things, which is also very exciting. Yeah, it's a great programme, and we've got some absolutely fantastic speakers. And we've got our international speaker this year, who is Alison Deslanders, who's obviously very, very pioneering in terms of endometriosis and the care of women in endometriosis. And she's going to be involved in our endometriosis practical. So for me, that is probably our biggest excitement and pull this year. Yeah, anything you wanted to add to that, Emma?
I think one of the highlights will also be on day 1 with our DMB speaker, Dr Colin Dean. Really looking forward to that. I think that's going to be a really good talk. I know he's taking plenty of time to prepare, so should be one to go to.
I think just to add, I mean, this BMUS meeting I think is shaping up really, really well. I mean, I think the beauty of the BMUS ASM is really about the science, of course, and about the clinical practice, but it's a very gentle kind of friendly meeting. Everybody meets up, you can catch up with old colleagues, make new friends. The manufacturing teams and the clinical teams seem to engage really well. I think this program is looking brilliant. I mean, there is literally something for everyone in this program. Really interested to see the sort of slightly non-clinical aspects of our practical sessions. So before, our practical sessions would be very much sort of clinically focused, how to do something. We've got one on breaking bad news, which I think is really exciting. I think it's something that we really need to be thinking about as an organisation. And as Shaunna says, we've got a wellbeing session and a yoga session, which I'm quite looking forward to. So yeah, just something for everything, for everyone. It's really good to see that BMUS ASM is evolving in the way that it is.
And you'll get to see Peter in his best yoga pants. So what more could you
Yeah,
want?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I'll be very good at yoga, but anyway, we'll see.
That's what I was just about to say. Are you going to be joining in on the yoga? But
I am. Yeah, I fully intend to, but I don't intend wearing yoga tights.
Oh, no, super. Yeah. So in terms of figures, how many exhibitors and delegates are currently signed up?
So we have 30 different exhibitors coming. At the moment, 365 delegates with 141 speakers and guests.
Oh, wow. So it's going to be, yeah, packed event.
Plenty of people in the room. It's going to be really buzzy, really good, really lots of people to network with.
Sounds great, and sounds like really good attendance figures, because I know that quite often the last couple of weeks you tend to get another sort of flurry of visitors as well, so that's really, really positive. So kind of thinking about how AXREM members in innovative technologies can help healthcare professionals, how do you think they can help healthcare professionals of the future, and how these technologies can impact the workforce in the NHS?
Well, I'll start, Sally. I mean, in the future, the same way at the moment that they do at the moment. I mean, one of the beauties of BMUS and the ASM is that actually we have quite good working relationships with our manufacturing colleagues. So we like to do things in a combined way. I mean, the innovation that comes out from many of our manufacturers is fabulous, but the sort of education they provide and the support they provide alongside that is always really, really good. I mean, that's what I found personally. I mean, in the future, I guess, we'll be looking at AI. I know lots of manufacturers are already looking at that, and that's a big issue. Or big issue. It's a big thing to get used to. And of course, BMUS would want to work with AXREM really, really closely in terms of AI, just to make sure that gets integrated into our workflows in a way which suits us all.
And am I right in saying, sorry, that you're going to be starting an AI group in BMUS? Is that right?
We are. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Brilliant.
yeah, I think it's one, we're all been talking about it for a few years, but we do really need to think about how we integrate AI in a way that works for everybody into our workflow streams.
Absolutely. And we actually have an AI special focus group in AXREM, and we obviously we've had that established for a few years now. We don't necessarily have such a focus on ultrasound, but absolutely it should be discussed within those meetings. And I think that what probably a lot of people don't realize is AI is already embedded in a lot of the equipment as well.
Yes.
So I think we're already clinicians are probably already using AI without sometimes even realizing.
Yes.
So I think that that's only going to advance more in the future. So that's great that you guys are kind of getting on board with that, and there's a real focus there as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be huge in the future, isn't it? We need to make sure. Nobody seems to quite know how it's going to pan out, so we need to try and grasp it while we've got the opportunity now, and make sure we make it work for us all and for our patients, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shaunna and Emma, do you have anything to add in terms of the previous question around innovative technologies and the difference you think they can make?
Yeah, I think I just completely mirror what Peter had said about AI and about the developments that will be coming with AI. Like you said, it's already being used as it is, but it's just kind of showcasing it and getting it to our ultrasound users to make it less frightening for ultrasound users, because it is going to be an embedded part of practice, and it's just kind of one of those things where we're going to have to move with the times. And I remember when elastography started to become a thing in ultrasound, nobody liked it initially, and then everybody absolutely loved it. And it's just one of those kind of initial breaking down barriers with a new technology, and that's where we need to be, really.
I would agree with all of that. Absolutely, yeah.
I think the other big issue which we've seen over a number of years and which will continue is a continuing miniaturisation of ultrasound kit while still maintaining good image quality. So what we've got available now in the size of a tablet really is just hugely powerful in comparison to what these small machines were 15 or 20 years ago. So that does provide BMUS and the education community with a challenge in terms of how do we roll that out safely and make sure that everybody who has access to these technologies is able to use them effectively. But I'm guessing that's going to continue in terms of these small machines. These pocket machines are going to get better and better.
Absolutely. And I think having attended the event the last couple of years, I feel like there's something about the BMUS event that just feels like, and we kind of create that at AXREM, a real community. There's a real community feel. You get really, really good attendance. And having sat in on some of the education sessions, which are way above my kind of grade, if you like, of any clinical expertise, I still find them really interesting. What do you think you've done that makes you a little bit different to some of the other events? How have you kind of created that feel about the event? Probably Emma, I suppose this will go to you first, putting you on the spot.
That's okay. I think, do you know what I think of BMUS? Like, so as you know, and lots of people know, BMUS is a really small team together. But then when we go to BMUS, it's like our team grows, like this massive thing that it becomes all our volunteers, all our speakers, the students come and work for us. Speakers do such a fantastic job. They're also committed. I don't know what happened in the past to make BMUS what it is, but I think we've continued with that, and we're constantly looking for ways just to make sure that everybody feels included, run sessions that we know are needed, and the education is always of such a highest level. The feedback is always brilliant. And then I think there's also that Christmas element. People come because it's the beginning of Christmas. We have the winter ball. There's a bit of a kind of like, oh, the year is over. Sense in a way. I can have a glass of wine, I can catch up with those people I've not seen for years, and I see it around the exhibition all the time. Oh my god, I've not seen you for ages. You see that with people, and that general connection that sonographers have with each other and the ultrasound profession have with each other. And I think it's just so many things that make BMUS BMUS. And hopefully this year will be just as good, and there'll be some great opportunities for networking, education, looking at the technology. It's going to be brilliant.
BMUS is a gentle meeting, and what I mean by that is everybody is welcome. We encourage new speakers, we encourage new presenters through the poster exhibition. BMUS is a multidisciplinary society, so we don't really care where you come from in terms of your professional background. If you're an enthusiast of diagnostic ultrasound, or even therapeutic ultrasound actually as well, you are welcome at BMUS, and you are part of the BMUS family. So we do work quite hard to make sure the meeting is very inclusive, that people who are new presenting, for instance, we run a student stream to make sure that students are able to present in a safe environment. We try and make sure our manufacturers are involved as closely as possible. So it is a real kind of festive, safe and friendly event. I'm really pleased that you've noticed that, Sally, because that is what we aim to do. I've got to say the planning for that is huge. So Emma and her team, the planning starts from the middle of January. So as soon as BMUS finishes 1 year, we'll be starting the planning for the next year.
Yeah, and I totally concur with that. It feels like one big happy family, and I kind of feel like we've built that type of community in AXREM, and when we get everyone together, it just feels lovely. And being kind of, if you like, an outsider that attends BMUS, I've never felt like an outsider. I've always felt extremely welcome and really enjoyed attending the event. I think I'm going to take this opportunity at this moment just to do a little plug to the session that we're running at BMUS this year. So AXREM will be running a session on Wednesday, the 11th of December from 10:30 until midday. And the title of this session is How Ultrasound Changes Lives, a Global Perspective. This will be chaired by our outgoing convener, Roy Tappin, General Manager at GE Healthcare. And the speakers for the session are Paul Dubbins, Consultant Radiologist, Emma Polgar, Clinical Application Specialist at Mindray, and Dr. Ian Spillman, paediatrician and former medical superintendent at a hospital in Uganda. We hope that you'll all be able to join us for this interesting session, and it really is looking at how ultrasound can be really useful in third world countries and around the world, in countries that probably don't have the same technology and things that we have within the NHS. So it would be great for your delegates to come and join us for that interesting session. We will also have some QR codes on the screen at the end of the session, because each of our speakers are associated or work with charities. So if anyone wants to get involved with those charities, we'd also very much welcome that, and we will be sharing that on our social media activities leading up to the session as well.
Well, thank you, Sally. It's nice to hear that Paul Dubbins will be there. So Paul Dubbins, I started working with Paul Dubbins back in 1995. So yeah, it'd be really good to see him at BMUS as well.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, it's a really, really good panel, and we've put a lot of sort of time and effort. We actually had a meeting earlier this week to discuss the session. I'm super excited. I'm looking forward to being there along with my colleague Donna, representing AXREM and supporting that session, and sort of our members that will be there exhibiting as well.
Okay, so now a bit of a change in tone, and now on to my quirky question. So if you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? And I'll go to Emma first, I think.
Awesome. We actually talked about this at dinner last night. Do you know if you put it into Chat GPT with a strength and a weakness, it will come up with something like quite new and innovative? I didn't like mine, but it was a good kind of dinner conversation with our 10-year-old son. But I think at this point in the year, I'd really like to slow time down. If I could just lengthen out my days maybe, or slow time, I'd feel a little bit better about things.
So how does that work with Chat GTP? What is it called? GPT?
We put in my full name, my age, and a strength and a weakness. So my strength was napping, because I just do love a good nap. I can't remember what my partner put down as my weakness. And then it came out that I should be a restorative person, and I was able to heal people through the power of sleep.
There we go. There's a bit more AI for you.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And Emma, I think that a lot of people will concur with wanting to slow time down, especially in our industry this time of the year. There's so much going on. There's so many events. And yeah, like you, September to December, I wish it could last the whole year, because it really is a crazy time. So it would be lovely to slow time down and have a few more minutes to kind of gather our thoughts and prepare for different meetings and events.
Yeah, absolutely. Shaunna, what would your superpower be?
I think for me, I'd like to be able to breathe underwater, because it fascinates me that we've discovered so much about the human body in space, but we haven't quite discovered as much about the ocean. So that would be mine.
Oh, that's interesting. Nice. And Peter?
So I'd like I like Emma, I had a good think about this one because I knew this question was coming. I think I'd like to be able to see into the future, maybe not speed time up ever, but just be able to see where we'll be in 10 years. I know that I've been knocking around for years, and I'm really coming to the sort of pinnacle of my time with BMUS over the next couple of years. But BMUS and ultrasound has come on so far in the last 20 years, and I'd love to be able to look forward to 10 years and just see where we are then. I think things will be hugely different. I think things will be better, as they always are, but I'd love to be able to see what's coming.
Yeah, we need to arrange a TARDIS for you so you can travel into the future and see what's coming. And I think that it's quite a good point, because if you look back 10 years ago at what for instance, mobile phone looked like, and what it looks like now and what it can do, and if you think 10 years into the future, it's actually quite scary where we might be. So yeah, that would be an amazing superpower.
Yeah. Sally, could I ask if AXREM are considering designing a TARDIS? Is that something that's on your next innovation?
I would love it if my members could design a TARDIS. I might disappear into the future and never come back. But yeah, no, I don't think that's on their list of things just now. I think that's fantastic. Really good answers. And before we finish the podcast, I must mention the AXREM members that will be exhibiting at ASM. So Cantin Medical and GE Healthcare, who are going to be gold sponsors, Philips and Myray, who are silver sponsors, ECOTE, Fujifilm Healthcare, Siemens Healthineers, who are bronze sponsors, and other members that will be exhibiting are Bracos, Celtic SMR and Nanosonics. So I think today we found out a lot more about Emma, Shaunna and Peter and the BMUS ASM, and I'm really looking forward to attending next month. If you are going to be there and you see me wandering around, please do come and say hello. Really happy to engage about all things AXREM and BMUS. And a big thank you to Emma, Shaunna and Peter for being our guests for today.
Thank you to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And could I also say thank you to manufacturers who make the BMUS event so special. We couldn't run it without the manufacturers. Their input is very much valued.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. And thanks to all our listeners.
Thank you for listening to the BMUS ASM special. Join Sally and I again later in the month as we celebrate Christmas and reflect on AXREM 2024 and discuss plans for 2025. If you have enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to hit subscribe or feel free to share the podcast with friends.